SeaWorld has really outdone themselves. They will be building Orlando's first ever hyper coaster. This is a B&M Hyper, which they are calling Mako. In this video, I will be analyzing everything about this ride. So first things first, this coaster will open in summer of 2016, and it will be the tallest, longest, and fastest coaster in Orlando. This will be the park's third B&M coaster. They already have Kraken and Manta, and this one will be very different from the two. This one is all about the airtime and does not go upside down. So let's run down the stats for this ride. This coaster will have 9 airtime hills. Its maximum height is 200 feet. It has a 200-foot drop. Its maximum speed is 73 miles per hour and has a track length of 4,760 feet. And like most B&Ms, riders have to be at least 54 inches tall. What's cool about this coaster is that it is at the back of the park and it runs out over this lake. Part of this coaster is actually over water and the rest of it is running up against it. This coaster will be part of an entirely themed new area themed around sharks. While the entire area has new theming, there are attractions that are already there that this theming will encompass. And that is the Shark Encounter and the Shark's Underwater Grill. And if you look at this concept art for this coaster, this entire ride is themed around sharks. When you enter the queue, you're going to be occupied because there's all this theming around you to sharks, particularly the Mako shark, which is one of the fastest around there. What's also cool about this ride is that SeaWorld has created an entire soundtrack for the ride. Riders will be able to hear the soundtrack during the ride, and people waiting in the station and from off the ride will be able to hear the soundtrack. And in addition to sound, they will also have lighting effects for when it gets dark. These lights will make the track look even cooler. Now, let's get down to what I think of this coaster. First off, I think that this is a fantastic fit, not only for SeaWorld, but for the surrounding area. Florida does not have a true hyper coaster. This gives them one. And on top of that, the last coaster that SeaWorld added was Manta in 2009. They've gone 7 years without a new roller coaster. And now they're finally getting to add one in 2016 and they're going all out. This coaster will have some cool theming and it won't be like any other ride in the area. It really is a perfect fit for the park. I know some people were speculating about what type of hypercoaster it'd be, whether it be from Mack or from B&M or Intamin. And I think that no matter what manufacturer they chose, they would have gotten a great coaster. And I don't have a problem with them adding another B&M to their collection. Now they have 3 top-notch coasters by Bolliger and Mabillard. I like that they chose B&M because B&Ms are known for being graceful and they're very beautiful. And I love the color scheme that they chose for this ride. Now, some people were complaining when they first saw this coaster because coaster enthusiasts, of course, have to find something to complain about. They were complaining about how this hypercoaster looks to be shorter and not as long of a ride as some of the other ones out there. And when you compare it to Nitro or Intimidator or Diamondback, this one is a bit smaller. It has just under 5,000 feet of track, while several of the others have over 5,000. Now this coaster will have 9 airtime moments. That is pretty average. Some of course have more, but I don't think that it is a bad thing that this one is a bit smaller than the others, because this is the only hypercoaster in the area. Those who only stay in Florida will look at this and think, wow, that coaster is huge. They won't know the difference between this coaster and Nitro, and they won't care that it's a bit smaller or not as long of a ride. Do I think that this will be the best hypercoaster in the United States? No, I do not, but I like the theming for it, and I think this is a great fit for Orlando and Florida for that matter. So I look forward to seeing this thing being built. I have high hopes for it. I think there'll be a very enjoyable ride, and I think that this will bring in a lot more guests into SeaWorld. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks to SeaWorld Orlando for letting me use their video and images for this video. And if you're new to Coaster Studios, make sure to subscribe for more content.